Yo, what's up? This is Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity Q&A, and I'm here with my man John D.
In the building.
So, like I said, we started a new segment. It's called Diverse Clarity Q&A, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking in the questions. They're coming in via DM. They're coming in with the comments. They're coming in through people that we know that support the movement that we're doing, and we're bringing those questions live, and we're just going to talk about them real quick. Give you our viewpoints on them, and then we're gonna hit and run. So you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right. So the question for this piece is, which sport has the best athletes and why?
I'm gonna ask you to answer that first.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't know where you was coming. I was like, I want to hit you.
Okay. All right. So which sport has the best athletes and why? Now, I guess when I answer this, my main piece that I'm gonna focus on is the physical requirements, the physical capabilities, the durability that's required, all of these things, right? And I'm gonna stick to games. I'm not gonna talk about I'm gonna stick to games, right? So whether it be an Olympic game or games that we played in grade school and whatnot, that kind of thing. I think that the most grueling is probably American football.
The best athletes are grueling. It's like who has the best athletes, right? Does grueling have to necessarily mean?
It's a word that comes to mind when I think about American football, and the reason why is because, there is an intelligent piece to that, right? There's an intelligence piece, which isn't a big part of this because we're talking about the athletes, and I don't know if when this person wrote this question if they're talking about the mental capacity of the individuals playing the sport. So we're gonna keep it strictly physical.
Okay.
What goes into training for American football players and how they train and what's required, right? When it goes into how they play the game. This is just why I feel this way. And then this is me, somebody that I've played football, I've played soccer, I've played basketball. I mean, and we're talking about on organized teams. I've run track. I have what other sport? I've swim. I played volleyball. Like those definitely wouldn't be in that level, but when I think about it, I think about American football as being one of the toughest that I've ever played, right? And the most demanding. And
so when you say American football, are you saying that everybody on the football field can play other sports just as good or similar, can compete?
I'm not saying that, but I will say this. I know, like, for example, when I was in high school, most people on the football team did play other sports.
No,
I just think that football is probably one of the more demanding sports physically, right?
But do you have to be athletic?
It depends on your position, of course.
That's what I'm saying.
It depends on your position.
So you just named the whole sport. So when I think of football, I don't just think of running backs and quarterbacks. I think about the line.
Right, but I'm also thinking about the highest level of requirement for whatever the position may be. So obviously, I'm not talking about kickers and punters here.
Why not? That's the game of football, though. So that you saying they don't count?
No, that's not. Well,
we're naming sports.
Well, I'm telling you what I'm counting. I'm counting the highest level of, right? So the highest level. For example, okay, I played soccer for longer than I played football, right? Mm-hmm. I played soccer since I was in the 4th grade. I think that when it comes to endurance, it's probably one of the toughest sports.
Yeah, easy,
right? Because the way the game is played. But not everybody in soccer has to have great endurance. The goalkeeper does not need great endurance. So I'm looking at it from the person that has, or what would be the most demanding when we talk about the most demanding positions. Obviously, we're talking about team sports. Not everybody's playing the same position. Different requirements for each position. So if you want to go down to like what is required of each individual, hell, we might even throw in WWE. Like, it's for show, but they are extremely athletic. what goes into how they have to train and what they have to do, the choreography to put on the show that they put on. So if we're talking about where every position is required to do the same thing, but even when if you said WWE, if you said wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. Not everybody does the same type of stuff. Everybody ain't got the same finishing move. Not everybody jumps off the top rope. Not everybody goes into the cage match. You got the people that come out that are the dummy matches. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So I'm only talking about looking at some of the most extreme positions in whatever the sport is, and I think that in American football, it's demanding for athletically, right?
Repeat the question again for me so that I can make sure I'm answering it right when it's my turn.
Which sport has the best athletes and why?
Okay. I can't agree with football because I can't leave out the football. I can't leave out the kickers and the linemen because I think of those players,
right?
I think basketball personally because I think in order to dribble a basketball, shoot, they got to have endurance to run back and forth or whatnot.
Right.
They can play football. Like there's a position on that. They don't have to catch.
They might not be able to take a hit though.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. But I'm saying they could be fast enough to not get hit too.
I'm fast and I got hit.
No.
It's a part of the game.
I'm saying when I think like the football players, if they were to play basketball, they may not have no hand coordination with the basketball. Like it's a different level of athleticism to me.
I mean, but
if you put a basketball player on the football field, you can find a position for him.
Okay, but when we say hand-eye coordination, there's a lot of sports that involve hand-eye coordination. I don't think about that as full athleticism all the way. Why? You can go and play for EA Sports in these tournaments. What wins those? Hand-eye coordination.
No,
playing a video game.
No, I'm not. So, I'm just saying the game of basketball, I believe these players in athleticism can go into the other sports a lot easier than people to come into basketball.
I mean, that comes down to like individual.
Well, I'm referring to the athleticism part. That's the only thing I'm referring to.
I believe that everybody in football can take a hit. I don't believe that everybody in basketball can take a hit and keep on ticking.
Yeah, I agree too.
But I think it would be way more difficult for them to come. I'm not saying that they can't. But I'm just thinking because even a punter, a punter trains for that because you know the game. Punter, they train for that.
So I don't want to say that they can't take a hit. I'm just saying that they could play a position on the field and be better than a football player coming into basketball. Do you see what I'm saying?
I mean, now we get into like.
Well, you said athleticism, so I'm just thinking if you can play more than one sport, you're way more athletic than somebody who can play one sport. So that's the way that I looked at it.
I mean, okay, so I guess if we were to take this person's question and then we'd have to like dissect it and be like, well, what do you mean by athleticism? And then what?
Well, I was just answering in the way that I thought. Yeah,
but you know what I mean. So like we could have different definitions of it, and then we'll go back and forth.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like. I think the way that I'm looking at it is I'm not talking about cross sport interaction. I'm looking at one sport and what could be.
I think it's the most difficult sport to play,
but one of the most demanding or some of the most demanding roles.
It is. Period.
Right? Because let's face it,
it's a poor man's sport. Though.
You could play basketball and never have to go down low into the paint and be extremely successful, Steph Curry. You could play basketball.
But you got to be really good to do that.
But okay. But I'm
really
just saying,
good.
Right. But does it necessarily require a high level of athleticism?
Now it does. The game is just that much different. Like big men don't even really exist. They got to shoot threes now.
Okay, great.
That's what I'm saying. The game has changed.
But the physicality also has changed. And when it comes to physicality.
But does that have anything to do with the athleticism aspect?
It most definitely does, because when you're looking at somebody, their ability to, their endurance level. Right,
you know who Robert Parrish is?
You talk about taking a hit and not trying to take the Timex whatever commercial whatever slogan, but take a hit and keep on ticking type of move. You know what I'm saying? So like we're talking about running backs, we're talking about fullbacks, we're talking about wide receivers jumping in the air, getting hit, getting flipped, standing back up, going back and running the next play. I don't need a timeout. Throw the ball, get it to me. A Tom Brady in the pocket, can't really run, getting banged up all the time when his line ain't blocking.
It's tough.
Playing in the mud, playing in the snow. And we comparing that to 5-on-5? I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Well, football is a poor man's sport, though. It's like I'm gonna tell you why. It's like gladiator type stuff. Back in the day, like they purposely go try to hurt each other. Like, and when I say that, like at one point it was probably a way to get out. But do you when you when you see all the concussions that go on and the effects after the game to these people, it's not worth it.
I don't know if it was a poor man's sport. If we're talking about like how it got started.
No.
When it got started was like it was a.
Oh yeah, no,
it was a village sport. Everybody in the village played.
When I'm referring to poor men, I'm looking at it like poor, like back in the gladiators when people were poor to fault. They fought to live a certain type of way, like gladiators.
Okay.
Like they weren't like the rich. It wasn't like the richest kids playing in gladiators. It was like
they call it the gridiron. You know
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, how do you purposely go allow somebody to hit your head? Like you can't get away from that. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I feel like if you say you know better, you do better. They allow their kids to go into this on purpose. You already rich. You can't tell me you can't introduce them to other things.
I mean, that's a whole.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole nother. That's the reason why I say it's more athleticism in basketball because football that's tough sport. The most difficult sport.
I mean, it's a contact sport.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so happy my son wasn't introduced to that.
All right, y'all. So we want to know what you think. So go down in the comments and talk to us. All right. So we want to know what is the sport?
Tell us y'all sport. Tell us what we missing.
Right. So which sport has the best athletes and why? Talk to us. All right. And we'll catch you next episode.
Peace.